have Olivier Assayas, who's returning to some familiar material. We have Paul Verhoeven and Sofia Coppola, each being tapped for different projects. For Olivier Assayas, he's actually going back with the support of A24 into a series. So Carlos technically was a feature film, but the way a lot of people saw it was through the lens or scope of a series. And he's going to revisit Irma Vep, like strictly art house film, not that easy to digest for non-auteur cinephiles, if you will. So yeah, what are your feelings about that film being enlarged or put in a larger canvas?
It's exciting. For me, the curious part is the collaboration between Olivier Assayas and A24. Um, that's an exciting duo of talent
Mhm.
and a company that has a very keen eye on auteurs. And Olivier Assayas is certainly no newbie. He's very well respected and established and beloved. So it's exciting to see them put their support behind him. And Carlos showed that he can tell like a story on an expansive canvas that spreads out over multiple hours. So it's great news. It's cool to see him move into this medium again, and if he's inspired to tell a story that he's ventured into before, but with more detail, with other avenues to go down, then I'm for it. I'm very excited.
And in the case of the Verhoeven project, obviously we know that Benedetta has been finished for a while. Paul Verhoeven had some, not health issues, but he had to get surgery midway. So that's why we didn't see it in Cannes 2020. So that's very much in the can. So Saïd Ben Saïd, again, is reteaming with the filmmaker on material that's been recently adapted. Like Robert Pattinson was on board as Bel Ami, I believe, the
Mhm.
official title. Any ideas as to uh, um, Verhoeven going back to a terrain that he did in the late 70s?
Wait, he did this in the late 70s?
No, he did. He did a series. The last series he did was in the 70s, the late 70s.
Oh, TV series, yes. Well, I mean, so yeah, he's going back to a medium he hasn't been involved with in a while. Um, and he's tackling a classic French novel that has been brought to the big screen at least 5 times, I believe, and has already had a couple TV versions as well. So, but all of that said, uh, none of them have had Paul Verhoeven's touch. So, again, like he's a filmmaker who's in the past few years he's in a bit of a renaissance period. He seems newly invigorated with some really exciting ideas, and so great. Like, sign me up. I'm in.
Yeah, certainly Elle had a big impact on the later stage of his filmography. And Sofia Coppola would have been in Cannes with On the Rocks, and now she's getting into a new terrain as well. When I think of Coppola, I don't think of series. I really, she's very singular and like, films that fit in a box. And I don't know if that's the right terminology I want to use, but now she's working on something from yesteryear, the custom of the country apple. What are your thoughts on that?
Um, yeah, it's. I don't think it's too far removed from the kind of stories she wants to tell. I mean, this is from what I understand, a kind of a coming of age story. It's set among the sort of New York City elite of the early 1900s. So it's not unfamiliar territory for Sofia
Mhm.
Coppola. Obviously, a series is a new thing, but if anything, it's evidence that her collaboration with Apple on the Rocks has been fruitful. That clearly the studio and her are getting along, and they see eye to eye. So it's really good news. And I think again, like having a bigger canvas to play on. If she has it's a nice place to be if you're a storyteller. And the source material by Edith Wharton. I mean, the author has been behind, you know, a beloved American author who's been behind The House of Mirth, Age of Innocence, some really iconic stories in the past as well. So I think it's a winning combination all around.
So that's it for this week. There's probably going to be a lot of film project news next week. And then we're going to be seeing the Cannes Film Festival market in June. So we'll probably get more of this stuff, more production news, more packaging. So it's encouraging to have something to look forward to for the not so distant future, I hope. So thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks to you, Kevin.
Thank you.
And see you next week, guys.
Hi, I'm Eric Lavallée. I'm editor-in-chief and site owner for IONCINEMA.com. And this is
Kevin Jagernauth, contributing writer for the playlist.
And together we are IndieSponge.